All right. All right. Yeah, I pulled up Tyler Jenks. I sent you guys all the link. I invited, I don't know if Castillo is available, but I sent him the link, and by mistake, I sent it to all you guys. So that might be fun to do, but I don't know how we can handle that. We're very technologically weak here, you know. So, but I hope you got my last newsletter, which I sent out this morning, because it was really a great lesson. You know, you guys are going to learn a lot more from my mistakes and my successes. I know you don't get that yet, but you've got to get that through your head. That's just the way things go. You know, look, I put my record against anybody's, and I know that I'm really good. I'm not that good a trader. I know you guys really have a hard time with that. It's a concept that you just don't get. And I don't know how to get it through to you, but this was such a perfect example. Shows, hey, I'm a shitty trader. All I had to do is stay with what I had. But really, it's not that bad, because I didn't lose anything. My equity actually increased, and I said, you know what? I don't want to give any back. And you know what? I didn't. Okay, I didn't. And you also have seen that how to cut the trading back. You know, I took 24.5 Bitcoin out. I started with 2 on May 25th, and we ran it into 10. Okay, that was enough for me, you know, enough for the lady goat, and we took 6 out, okay? And we hodled 2, and we bought a great big old bus to go on vacation with the other 4. So that's how you do it. And it's, you know, and I just want to emphasize that because it seems like most all of you just have the wrong emphasis. And I don't blame you. It's the way other people teach. And it's also the way other people sell things, because everybody has their own little technical system that they want to sell you. Generally, they're not cheap. I buy them. I don't have a problem doing that, because some of them I use, some of them I just throw away. You know, I wasted $1,000 on a system, but that's, you know, it's a business expense for me. Okay. And so that's, you know, what I am trying to teach you. You need to get your thinking completely reversed. I want to read. I'm gonna get. I'll be on screen, but I'm going to read a message I got from somebody on Twitter. There's a follower, and it's just super. I don't have permission really to share who it is, but it's great because he's got it. You know, guys, you need to get this. And let me. I got to go get to my Twitter account here, and see if I can find it, and then I'll just be reading it to you. So I'll still be here, but I won't be seeing myself. Okay, let me go into. I got to go to here, and I got to go to here. Oops, that's not it. I don't want to tweet. I just want to go to my. Okay, so I got a message, and I'm going to read this message because it's really good. And here it says, hey, well, first of all, he said, yeah, let's see, he started a whole lot of things. He asked me a question. I say, hey, I've been reading your newsletter and your articles since pretty much the beginning. I'd say that I'm one of your first subscribers. I love your content. I want to ask you something that I can't quite understand. Well, what is the difference between money management and risk management? And that's an excellent question. I said, I'll write an article about it. I think I did. Funding is just an inverse way of stating buy. Oh, this is then. Okay. And I said, funding is just an inverse way of stating basis. Such a notion never existed before BitMEX and a perp contract. The norm is longs pay shorts or contango. Yeah, I figured. Thank you so much. Okay, that is, but I saw your article. Thank you for your answer. Thank you for promoting my referral link. Hey, I just wanted to teach you, I just wanted to reach out to you because this is an important day to me. I started trading with a new BitMEX account of 0.1 a tenth of a Bitcoin. Unfortunately, had a drawdown and lost 0.52 Bitcoin. So he lost over half of his account. And my account was holding was hodling or holding at 0.048 Bitcoin. Now, I managed to trade it back all the way to 0.15 Bitcoin. And following your money management principles, decided to withdraw the initial 0.1 Bitcoin and keep the 0.05 Bitcoin, trading with other people's money. All right. Hopefully I will become a large trader like you, which is my goal right now. Your teaching has helped me a lot. Okay. And I said, way to go. So he said, it's fine. Is it, well, here, I can get on screen share. It's Ernesto Lorraine. And just a great question. He popped it to me this morning. And you just need to get in that kind of mode of thinking. I mean, that's why this is not just teaching you how to trade, it's teaching you how to manage your money. Yes, I you saw me run 2 Bitcoin into 24 and 24 and a half. You saw me reduce my account back down to 2 and run it up to 10. Every time you've seen me take some off the table and we hodl some and we spend some. That's how you run a business, okay? We're not just sitting here trying to I don't have the desire to be in the top 10 of BitMEX anymore. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, right now, and doing lots of different things. And the other reason that I did get out of the market today, I am involved in so many things, and particularly this cruise, that I just, I've got to devote more time to it. And we'll be talking about that a little bit today and a lot tomorrow. I did find out today that if I'd have known how big, and people warned me, you don't want to do this, but I said, no, we'll try it. But yeah, the cruise, the problem is, all this regulation now in Homeland Security. So the good news, there's good and bad news. The good news is we're going to do the cruise regardless, and the ship is 70% booked already. So we're not going to, this is the good news is we're not going to have more than 60 people, and that will include the speakers. So wow. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be only, so you guys are going to get like one-on-one top treatment. Goat Lady has all kinds of fun things in store. And it's going to be a super cruise. Hey, if I don't sell out, I have all my friends get on, but here's the deal. We really have to have you sign up. I can't book them all in my name. Homeland Security now requires me that I have to at least have your name, and date of birth as it appears on your ID. And to go on the cruise, you also either must have a passport or driver's license and birth certificate. You have to have both those if you don't have a passport. If you don't have a passport or you don't have a driver's license and birth certificate, you're not going to get on board the ship. That's just the way it is now. So, and I need you guys that have already, a lot of you have registered, but you haven't confirmed anything yet. You haven't paid for the conference. Please do so. Don't hesitate on this. I've got to get this cleaned. I'm going to have to put in all the speakers' names here. So I need to really, again, the next week or two is just going to be devoted to get this cruise done. And I need to get most of it done. I hopefully get it sold out by July 22nd, because they really are not going to be forgiving after that date. I mean, I paid for them, but every cabin I have to put a name, and it can't be my name for Homeland Security reasons. Don't ask me why, but that's the way it goes. So I'm going to be addressing that today, and I have a special broadcast about it tomorrow. But I wanted to do this because this is such a good lesson. I mean, you guys, I'm not that good a trader, okay? You can do this. You can do it, okay? And the beauty about it is it's the new Bitcoin and BitMEX. It is the new America. Look, you can't do this in the United States. You can't open an account for $100 and trade stocks. Can't do it. You know, you got KYC and all these minimum requirements. You're in the most sound thing that's ever been invented, something that over the long run just keeps going up and up and up in value. And I'm drinking my coffee. And you can start in a very, very small way. And in that regards, I wanted to address, I wanted to get, hopefully Kostusas will come on. If not, I wanted to address that too, because I want to make it clear that I'm not sure exactly the program that he is selling, and but I welcome all technical analysts to follow what I'm teaching, because I think any number of technical systems work well. I know Kostusas believes in the Fibonacci numbers, and he has taught me a whole different way of looking at charts, but I don't know what his record is. Very few people publish their record, as I do. I do because I know what I'm doing, and you can see it's transparent, and I don't need. I can teach you. I want to show you it's possible, but you have to first get the principles down. And I know that there's a lot of you guys that I can just sense the frustration that people have subscribed and they thought, well, I'll just follow Ugly Old Goat. I've lost $100,000 this year and follow him and make it all back. No, it doesn't work that way. If you were mirroring my trades, let's say that, and I can do this. I got a software guy, he can put it on so you can mirror everything. See what I think Kostusas called it a do-it-yourself money management. But you know what? I'm not going to do it. Because, for example, look at what happened today. If you'd have followed me, you'd have gone out just before he made a great big killing in the market. But what I'm teaching you, you're going to miss moves. It's not that important. Okay? That's it. Okay, so let's do this. I get protect the equity. How do you decide when to go long and short? Well, I was already short. I've been short. If you notice, I'm very fundamentally, I think, Ethereum's going to continue to lose on Bitcoin. I've been saying that all along. As far as entry points, well, if you're, that's kind of like, technically, if you're right on the fundamentals, you don't have to be that right technically, okay? Fundamentally, Bitcoin's a buy. It doesn't matter if you buy it at 20,000 or 3,000. If you buy it and you hold it 5 years, you're, most likely, unless we're wrong on the fundamentals, you're going to look great. Okay, that's the fundamentals. I emphasize money management first. Okay, second, and that's I emphasize fundamentals, and it's because of the fundamentals that my flagship article is you need to dollar cost average and HODL. And you get the same results as any professional trader. You do. But it takes discipline. And most people don't have that. So you need to start the HODL. Now, as you start the HODL, you can take a small amount and learn trading. And that's why I recommend that you trade just with $100. You can't do that in the stock market. You can do it with Bitcoin. And it's because it is unregulated with one of the best exchanges that's ever been invented. And it's, there's just opportunities are no longer available in the United States. BitMEX won't, if you're a U.S. citizen, they don't want your business. They don't want the U.S. government in their business because the U.S. government's in everything. And let me tell you a story. When I was a youngster, when I was 21, 20, maybe 22 or 23 years old, I got out of college. The only reason I got a college degree at all is because we had the Vietnam War. And after I got a high draft number, I decided, well, I'll finish it. I was that close and did. And I was working construction, and I decided I wanted to learn to become a commodities broker. And so I went to a firm and I said, look, I just want a chair. You don't have to pay me anything. I just want to sit down here and learn. I just want to sit down here and learn, and I'll just work for commissions. I did that, and I was a waiter at night, and it took me, I remember some months I only had made $50. I think maybe once $37. And then some months I'd make a few hundred. And then I had I remember I made a big mistake, a big error on an order, and it cost the company like $7,000. Well, that was like job insurance, because now I owed them that much. And later on, I made another big mistake for another customer that made $30,000. Well, needless to say, the company kept all of that. But it took me 2 years before I made a living, as a broker. And then what happened, and I was working 60 to 80 hours a week learning the business. That's what I was learning, doing all this tech. I mean, I knew about food, but all this stuff that the being taught today, that's when I was learning this stuff. Well, apparently other people had done the same thing I did. They went in and they worked for the company, and they found out, hey, if you're going to succeed at this, you're going to have to work 60 to 80 hours a week. And of course, they didn't succeed. And so then the company was faced with a bunch of lawsuits. Well, I worked all these hours and I didn't even get minimum wage. So guess what happened? They closed, that opportunity got closed. You couldn't go to work for a brokerage firm anymore for nothing. They said, okay, you come to work for us, you have to promise us you're not going to work over, 37 hours a week or 40 hours a week, whatever it was, and you're going to get paid $700 a month. Well, that just shut the door on somebody like me. And that's what we have in the United States today and in the entire financial world. We regulate it to death. We want to regulate the rest of the world. And so one of the very few opportunities that are available to you is Bitcoin. And the largest unregulated exchange, and I think the most honest exchange that's ever existed, is BitMEX. And it's unregulated completely. So, that is where the opportunity is. And I love my country. I love the United States Constitution, but I despise my government because they're in everybody's business. And that's why you can't trade in BitMEX, and you should be hot. You don't blame anybody but yourselves, because you're living there and you're letting the politicians do it. Why is it not possible? Well, first of all, I don't think you can on any of the Forex exchanges I've seen. You might be able to trade with that little amount, but your spreads are just killers. They might say no commissions, but they've got it. There's a big commission in there. You just don't see it. Whereas BitMEX is a very efficient market. In fact, as long as you're a maker, you actually, I wind up, because most of my trades, I'm a maker, I'm not paying any commission at all. So, right. Well, what am I looking for when right now, I'm not looking at anything. Because I was in the trade that I wanted to be in, and I just decided to get out based on money management. So I'm probably first of all, I've got to work on this cruise. And secondly, I'm going on vacation. So I think I'm just going to probably stay out of the market for a month to 6 weeks. Very rarely do I put in any hard stops, but I'm also unusual because I only sleep for 3 hours. If I sleep more than 3 hours, it's very unusual. But I'll sleep several times. I'll take 2 or 3 cat naps a day of 2 or 3 hours, and I don't sleep. I can't sleep for 8 hours. I used to be, when I was a kid, I could sleep for 16 hours, but now I just don't. Okay, stop and reverse. Well, yeah, perfect entry was when I got out. It was a stop and reverse. I said I thought it was going to be a legitimate on the upside, so it was the SAR. When the F went up there and took out the upside, I said, you know what? I've had enough. My equity's at a peak. This thing can keep on going up. So I exited when I should have, been doubling down. So, what's the key? Well, there is no key. I mean, it doesn't matter if you go long or short. I know that you guys have a hard time understanding that concept, but it doesn't matter. I should have just doubled down up there, but instead I got out, and I got out for one reason, because I didn't want to give up any Bitcoin. I'm really stingy. I like to have my Bitcoin. It's been very useful for us, and I don't, I want to provide for my family, and I want you guys to learn. We got this big bus that we're going to take on vacation, and we'll be bringing it up to the cruise. And I know some of you are actually going to come back here, and but that's part of the business too. That's part of money management. We're not getting this bus just for fun. It's for business too. It's hard to become small after a big loss. Yes, yes, yes. And start again. Yes, yes. Really hard to change that. Yes. How do you pronounce that name? Etienne Gomez?
Where?
Etienne Gomez. Yes. I don't know if you're, I don't know, is Etienne a man or a woman's name? Any rate,
It's a guy.
It's a guy. Okay. Look, it is extremely hard. You've got to learn that. And you know what? You've lost a bunch of money. Okay, I get it. I've been there and done that. And it's really hard because that's in the back of your mind. But you know what? I can do the same thing. Look what I did today. I gave up probably Bitcoin or more because I was actually wanted to hold that position until expiration. That's how much I believed in it. And I had all this other stuff going on. I said, I'll just get out. I got my 4 Bitcoin back. From May 22nd until now, I turned 2 Bitcoin into 10. Hey, that's reasonable. That's pretty darn good. But it's really hard if you've given up a lot of money to go back and trade with nothing. But you've got to. It's the only way. You've got to. And maybe you don't want to start with $100. For most people, particularly if you're completely inexperienced and you don't even know the mechanics of BitMEX, yeah, you only want to start with $100. Now, maybe you can start with a little bit more, but it depends upon your financial situation. But it'll be a very, very, when you lose, you cut back. When you lose, you cut back. That's really a hard principle to learn, but you got to learn that. You got to learn that. All right. How do you work? Okay. Well, how do I work out? What I do is I find general areas, and I usually never put on my entire position that I want. I just put on I use what I think I have an article I wrote, GOAT stops. Somebody, well, where do you put your stops? And I say, if you're having a problem where you get out and you put on a position, you get stopped out and the market reverses, just don't put on as much. And, where you would normally put your stop, add to it. You have to have, and that's what you have to do. And then once you do that, once it turns around, goes your way, you want to start trimming and take a little bit out. Can you move that back up? He had another question. Eddie, can you scroll? Eddie, hey, can you scroll back down? He had another question. Okay, how do I sleep? I sleep by wearing myself out. So when I'm tired, I go to sleep. But I'm a very hyper guy. I'm 70 years old, but I have more energy than most people in their 30s. I don't know why. I'm built that way, and I know when I was locked up, and I always have fun. And so people said, "Man, I don't know what you're on, but I sure would like to get some." So. Anyway, on what basis do you use to take a profit in 2000 since we had crazy swings? In 2017, I got wrecked a couple times. I mean, in a bad way. And so that's why I'm not doing that anymore. If you notice, I did some things back then that I don't recommend, and there were mistakes. And yeah, I kind of bullied my way out of it, and that's what I'm teaching you not to do, because I jeopardized my entire equity. And that, I'm not doing it anymore. And it's been, actually, the change came when I started writing the Medium articles and I started publishing my trading, so you guys can see what's going on here. And I've always believed in sharply monitoring equity, but I've really gotten persnickety about it here since I've started, making my trades available, to subscribers and to members. And that is also why I do want to build this tool and you can do it yourself. It's a pain. We used to chart in the old days, everything by hand, and you could actually chart your own equity, the high, low, and close. But now with all the technology we have, you can do it, through computers, and it would be really, Victor is working on that. Hopefully we'll have that thing ready to go by the cruise. He's got a full-time job as an engineer and having to do it burning the midnight oil, because he has a full-time job where he works 60 to 80 hours and then he's doing this on top of it. Okay, there's always a don't trade your P&L, but your style of trading your equity is the opposite of that. Don't trade. What is P&L?
I don't know.
They always say don't trade your P&L. I don't know what. Hey, Freddie, tell me what P&L is. I'm thinking it's best to stop trading and wait for a similar situation to the market we had at 3K. Okay, profit. Okay, profit and loss. So go back and do that question again. Back there, scroll down some more. They say don't trade your profit and loss. Yeah, no, you trade. Yes, I'm telling you exactly the opposite. Exactly. These guys have it wrong. These guys that want to trade their systems, bullshit. Because the systems don't work all the time. And you follow that system, it will eventually break you. Do not trade. That's why, and that's what everybody is selling you. They have their technical system. And I don't doubt they truly believe in it. And there's people out there, and people will take issue with me, and Tone Vays will probably with me too. But he says technical is everything, and I say no, it's not everything. It's the last thing, and technical is not that important. Your profit and loss is the most important, and I will bet you I have a high regard for Tone, and I also have a high regard for Tyler Jenks. But you know what? I know they're successful, and you know why? Because they have money management built into everything that they do. Okay, now. The problem is nobody wants to hear about that. Because what you want is, I want to make back everything I've already lost now. And this new technical system is, the holy grail, the silver bullet that's going to give it all back. No. It doesn't work that way, guys. The technical is not that important. No technical will work without money management. Now, some of them will maybe never work, but most of them, I think, do work. But they have to be incorporated with the sound money management strategy. And like I say, what I'm teaching is the whole principle. And sound money is Bitcoin, okay? That's the fundamental. That's what we're in for. That's why you're hodling. And if you want to learn to trade it, you take a very small part of that hodl and you learn to trade. And that's what Tone teaches you guys. If you listen, that's what he teaches. He has some very useful tools. I mean, I purchased his 9 thing because it's very, very useful, and I consult, but it's not the first thing I'm looking at. It's just not. And it's not that important, because I can show you, if you follow it strictly, those 9s can be real long, and we can wipe you out if you get on the wrong, if you mistime your 9 at the beginning or the end. So I'm thinking it's best to stop trading and wait for a similar. Yes, that's not a bad idea. If you notice, I've cut back substantially. This is not the same market that we had back in December and January. In December and January, you could take a sizable position either way, okay, even if you were bearish, and the risk was very small. And if you're right, you could make a fortune. Look, we have tripled the market. It was at $3,500. Okay, 3 times that is what? 7,000, 10,005. We've gone more than 3 times that. 4 times 3,500 is what? 14,000. I think we went 4 times that. Now, if we double from here, what are we at? 12, 13, that we're at contract highs, but you've only, well, why do I want to be in this mess? You know, I'm telling you, all the wrong people are in the market now. Look at the basis. People are paying $650. The other day I looked at the basis, and they're paying $650 over spot for December contracts. That doesn't mean it can't go to a couple thousand over, but it's crazy speculation. It's not sound, and that's it. This is not the market that was there in the first quarter of this year. Yes, trimming is a very important part of money management. Again, read the book, The Art of Execution. I can't remember the author's name, Shore or something. He's a hyphenated name. It's in my Medium articles. It's $10. He is not a trader. The guy that wrote the book he manages funds professionally, billions of dollars. And he did a study of all his money managers and those that were successful and those that were not. And the ones that were successful always trimmed. I don't know. Are institutions now interested in buying Bitcoin?
What do you think?
They should be. They should be. I mean, what's happening in Bitcoin is you're having new institutions. I mean, basically, we are the new, what do they call that? We're the new money, and it's going to be increasingly that way. So, I mean, those institutions that are going to be left behind. I'm going to be doing an article because I just saw an interview with Arthur Hayes that I thought was excellent. And he kind of addressed, he said, no, this is all mainly retail. But I would be surprised at that because I know a mining operation, they are, those are sophisticated operations with a huge capital expense. And I guarantee you they know what they're doing on these markets. And that's what the markets are created for. They are created for people that futures are created to pass on risk, not to assume risk. They're not created for the speculator. They are created for commercial interests. And by the markets being highly speculative like this, it gives a huge opportunity to mining operations. This is very, very healthy for Bitcoin, not for the speculator. But it's very healthy for Bitcoin because now we can actually crash 80% and it's not going to make any difference. It's just going to wipe out, the speculator. The mining operations are going to be in very good shape for the rest of the year. They've already, they're able to lock in a profitable year and just sell a small part of their production. So, okay. Eddie, you want to join me now? I do have something that I
don't have a mic.
No, we can share. Come on, bring a chair over here. I've been talking about this with my assistant. I'm going to let you tell your own story.
Not really.
Okay, here's the important thing. Ernesto Lorraine said now an important part is that I'm trading only 3% of my HODL. And my hollow represents 10% of my net worth. I hope that 10% grows over time by trading and buying Bitcoin at lower prices if I get the chance. So yeah, he's got it down, guys. This is exactly what I'm trying to teach. I really am. And
more questions.
huh? Okay. Looking at the dump from the last hour, what is your strategy? You know what? I'm kind of just out of the market. My strategy is I wanted to be short and stay short Ethereum. I think, we take out the 2-week low, we're just going to keep going down. But now, what effect that's going to have on Bitcoin? Bitcoin can hold in here, go up. It's just, what you're seeing is what I said all along. It's the exit, and that's said with a lisp and a weak risk. Exit, because all these shit coins are, they're going to their intrinsic value, which is, well, it's shit. So, I'm proud. I'm probably going to be out of the market because I've got to work on this cruise, and then we're going to take a vacation. And you know what? I need that time with my family and away from the markets, which is also part of the money management that I'm teaching. You guys, you can step away from this thing. You don't have to be in it all the time. You just don't. And so that's kind of my plan. Okay, I started on BitMEX 11 months ago. For the last 4 months, my equity rises consistently. I started with 0.5, went as low as 0.37, and now I'm 0.65. I already took out 0.1 already. Very good, Freddie. That's it, man. You got it. And I want you guys, hey, you need to share these stories with other people, because when the people, I get, you guys are telling me this all the time. I need to write down these testimonials, how you've turned your trading around and you're starting to get it. There's no magic to this. There really isn't. You can do it. And it's really not that hard. And it doesn't even matter whether you go long or short. Yeah, to a degree. That's why I look at fundamentals, and that's why you're in Bitcoin. But as far as the rest of it, and it's really hard to explain, because if you're thinking technicals first, then you've missed completely what I'm teaching. You've just missed it completely, and And that's why people can sell these things, because they're selling the technical as some kind of a dream it's easy. Well, trading's not that hard, but it's not easy, and it's impossible. It is absolutely impossible without money management. You can't do it. I don't care how good a system you have. It's not going to work for you if you don't have money management first. Money management first, then the fundamentals. The fundamentals is Bitcoin alone. Now we can go and look at the technicals. And there's a variety of ways you can do it. And, everybody has a different cup of tea, and like I say, I think I like Kostis because he showed me a new way of looking at charts. Now, I'm familiar with Fibonacci's. I'm familiar with all the sacred numbers and all that kind of stuff. I've looked at them a long time ago, and I kind of discarded them. It's not my style. Some people can trade that way, but they tend to look for points, and they buy breakouts, and they use stops, and I'm not that kind of a trader. I'm not. Everybody does their thing differently, but I am looking for value. I'm looking for support and resistance. I'm looking for long-term trends, and I'm telling you right now, this is not my kind of market. It's a great swinging market, trading market, but I'm not, if you notice, I've cut way back in my trading. I did horrible trading. I'm not proud of the trading that I did, since May 25th. I really wasn't very good, but I did turn 2 Bitcoin into 10, so and, and I attribute it solely because I didn't let my equity drop. You just don't let it drop. You protect it. You limit how much that equity goes down. You limit your upside potential too, to some degree. But hey, my goal, I don't want those big swings anymore. And I want to teach you guys how to trade in a way that you can go to bed at night. Do you think a perma-bear, well, I don't know what you mean by perma-bull or perma-bear. I mean, I'm perma-bullish on Bitcoin, so I'm perma-bearish on the US dollar and all fiat currency. So can I survive with that? Well, I don't think you can survive without that. So it depends upon what your perma-bear, perma-bull. Now, does that mean, what that means is, I hold as few dollars as I can. What that means is I took my Social Security as soon as I was eligible, and what that means is I put my Social Security, which I didn't need to spend on everyday expenses, and bought Bitcoin with it. And that's what I get so amused, because I hear all these radio ads, these financial planners, they charge you an arm or leg. Oh, let us plan your retirement. And you need to know the best way to take your Social Security, get the best out of it. Well, no, you don't,
That's what I went for.
What?
About that story you mentioned. That's
What?
what happened to me, remember?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, you need to get on here and talk about your story. What story? I mean, but when okay.
That.
But anyway, so you take your Social Security as soon as you can and just buy Bitcoin with it, and you hold on to the Bitcoin. Look, if you did that, when I don't know when I started drawing Social Security as soon as I could at 62. I've been drawing it 8 years. I didn't get into Bitcoin until 2013, but I was putting $1,000, a month into Bitcoin, and hey, you become a millionaire that way. It's real simple. You don't want fiat, you want Bitcoin, but it's a long-term play, and it's not that hard to do, but yeah, you got to do it, and you have to be disciplined. Okay. Well, here, I wish I wasn't as good a trader as you. They never talk about their losses. Yeah, I know. Well, I talk about it. You know what? You learn a lot more from me about my losses and the things I do wrong. Okay. And you want to see something that I screwed up royally. Just look at what I did this morning. I screwed it up. I mean, look at what I would have had. And you know what? If I'd have held on to that position, then I'd be trading, and I'd be, and I'd be probably at least a Bitcoin richer than I am now. But I'd also, but also probably wouldn't be able to address this cruise and other things in my life that I really have to address right now. And I can't, so I got to be focused there. And we are planning a family vacation, and I got to focus on that. So, okay, very appreciate what you're teaching about money now. Okay, great. That's what this is about, and it's really, really, really important. What are first two things? I always look at first my equity. That's the first thing I look at. I don't know what I look at. I look primarily, on the short run, I'm looking at the 30-minute and 1 minute. Usually 30-minute on like Bitcoin Wisdom, and but on BitMEX itself, I'll be looking at the 1 minute. And then I always have the long-term chart in the back of my head, the weekly. So yeah, and then I do, and I do look at points of support and resistance. So trimming helped me a lot in trading. I can manage exactly. Trimming is really important, because the thing is, by trimming, you don't have that that big equity swing. You just don't. You've got some money out of the market, and you're not going to make as much when the market goes your way, but you're not going to give as much back either. And that's where I kind of got when I did the discombobulated. I was still right on the market, but it acted in a way I wasn't expecting it to, and I got discombobulated. And I should have just done nothing. I would have been fine. But hey, you know what? I'm doing just fine. I mean, I don't know. Somebody probably look. Here's what I want to do. Ed, get your chair up here, and he's going to tell a story. This is my assistant, good guy. And what year was it?
2016.
All right, so you're going to come on this side.
2017, no,
Okay.
no.
Huh? Okay. In 2017. Okay.
Was it 17?
I don't know.
I can't remember,
How do I
to be honest.
how do I get back to see where I'm at? Oh, okay. All right. So this is Jesus, actually.
Jesus.
Jesus
Yeah.
is here. Good thing I have Jesus for assistant.
Right.
But I'll call him Eddie, but his name is Jesus in Spanish, or Jesus in English. Chuy, sometimes they call that name, but I call him Eddie. And well, way back when we started, first of all, he came to work for me, and I was into Bitcoin, but I had
2016, right?
2016, and I was in another business. I would have never hired him because he was kind of sitting in the back corner of a winery, and my wife said, "Hey, you need to talk to Eddie. I think he can work with you." And
You were looking at the other guy, right?
yeah, I was looking at the guy that meant, hey, maybe this guy'd be good to work for me. But my wife said, no, you need to look at Eddie. And I said, okay. And anyway, Eddie's not well educated. I mean, and it's obvious in some areas of his life, and particularly in his math. But
Right. That is true.
but he, but I said, look, I'm a terrible teacher. I said, but here's what I'm doing, and you need to just follow me. And I said, here's a system.
The good things, right? Not
Right.
the bad.
Right. The good thing. Do what I say, not as I do all the time.
Exactly.
And anyway, he learned a very technical system, an audit that I can operate it if I have to, but it's a pain. And anyway, but he trained himself, and I'd already built the business, and I knew it all, and I was on a different system, was transitioning to a new one.
Right.
And basically, I'm in the voice broadcasting business. Anyway, he learned it and pretty well runs the little bit, and it's still a little business that we do mainly in election years. And I have some interesting stories on that too. But
the point is,
yeah, my philosophy is I don't pay people a lot, but if we do well, I'm going to pay them well on a bonus. And so he was able to get, substantial bonus. And I don't know, what was it? And particularly from Mexico.
right.
Yeah. And so I said, because he was living from paycheck to paycheck. And I said, now look, you got this bonus. Now you're going to have enough, you don't need to come for me for an advance. You save some of this for, when you need it.
Right.
And I was thinking, what, I was going to pay him Bitcoin,
Wrong.
but I said, what, by the time, just, say it. So you don't need me this year. Well, he didn't even have a bank account. So he goes down and opens a bank account. And the first thing he meets is some
seller.
Yeah, seller of insurance at the bank. And he was so worried that he'd spend all that money.
I
That
was.
okay.
Yeah.
So tell the
was.
story. Tell the story.
No, kind of like you did give me the money, and then my intention was to just do something positive, which kind of was, but then it wasn't, because then
Yeah, the first salesman that came along, you gave him all your money.
Right.
Which, I mean, it's still there. He's going to get it back, but he said, well, I bought it. I was afraid I was going to spend it, so I put it in this, and he couldn't touch it for 5 years.
Right. Which I'm going to get back pretty soon, but
Wow. But how much are you going to get back?
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, I was well, I could have given Bitcoin,
but if I would have kept it, I probably would have
blown it. And if I had given you
right.
Bitcoin, you'd have spent the Bitcoin. You would have never held it.
Exactly. It is.
So
I wasn't ready for
You're
it.
not ready. If you're not ready to manage money, you're just not ready.
Exactly.
You know, you got to say, hey, I'm ready to do this. I'm going to bite the bullet, take whatever it takes, and do it. Okay. So Eddie's ready to do it. And what he wants to do, and here's what I want to do. He's
Went
going
to David and the goat lady, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. The goat lady, we try. I would like David. I have a 13-year-old. The problem is I can't really have her. They might get me in trouble because nobody's supposed to take an account for a 13-year-old. But so will it be you? Well,
All right.
But I think what I want you to do is maybe start a thread of anybody else that wants to open a $100 account, and you guys all trade your $100 however you want, and you can.
It's going to be a loss. I know that. But,
Well,
but
it
still,
maybe not be, but
see, the point is
somebody out there can make $100 into $1 million.
Well, the point is to gain
the
experience.
Exactly.
Right.
To learn,
the tips, the
and
basics.
you can learn. You can run that $100 into $4,000 or $5,000. If you started with me in February, did what I did, if you had $70, it'd be $4,000.
I kind of started reading, not like the beginning now where you start writing. I kind of like went back to like the beginning.
Go see the
principle.
author. Oh yeah, go see all the old articles. They're there. So anyway, what we're going to do is he's going to open up an account, and I want you to start a channel. So anybody else that wants to do this, and you guys can just,
interact.
Yeah, because it's really not what technicals you use. It's how you're going to manage this account. And as you'll learn the trading, but
Right.
you got to manage it correctly. And you can do that if it's $100 because it's not going to, you're not going to be biting your nails. It's not going to affect your lifestyle.
Right.
But,
No, I might do that with little David. Yes,
Right.
we might do that.
Right.
Start a little channel.
Start a little channel and
then
all this. Yeah. So
tips, shares, whatever.
right. And it's not, I think that's a good way, but that way that, and because you're going to find your own style of trading. You're going to find
Right.
your own little secrets, your own little way of doing things. But and again, I can't emphasize, I know when you guys are always asking me technical questions, it's because you got the technical first in your mind. And that's what you really have to change that.
Right.
And I mean, I can go into more of the technical, but when I tell you it's really not that important, people don't believe me. Stuff like the technical is important.
Oh, see, there's one.
What?
Sounds great. I'm in, Jesus.
All right.
Yeah. Jesus is on the spot.
Me in with Jesus.
Right.
All right. Woo.
Yeah. Next thing you know, Bitcoin with Jesus. So
Oh man.
look forward to it.
All right. Well, we can do this, and and I think what I'm going to do is I got other things I need to work on, and so I'm probably not going to be trading at all, and my tracker is sitting there, and maybe after I get back from vacation, I'll step back into the market, but I've got so much on my plate, and I need to get going with this cruise. And you guys, if you're going to go on this cruise, please sign up. I'm going to have a special thing about it tomorrow. Again, I'm guaranteeing this. This is turning out to be kind of a mess because I guess with all the Homeland Security, even though I blocked the rooms, I can't put them in my name. They have to be in your name. And the cruise is already 70% sold out.
The Bitcoin Jesus.
The new Bitcoin. Hey!
That's a good one.
Oh,
I
right.
like that. I like
All right,
that.
move over, Roger. Here we go. We'll move over, Roger. Here we have a new Bitcoin Jesus here.
That's a good one. Bitcoin Jesus.
All right, guys. So, anything else? I mean, we can go through. I don't even want to look at the market because it just makes me sick. I mean, I was in the position, right? But I'm kind of glad because I'm out. I'm not even going to look at the thing. You guys can have at it all you want, and without me, because you don't need me. That's what I'm telling you. You guys don't need me. I've said that all along, but I will teach you the right principles, the right priorities, okay? And the right priority is don't jump in there with your life savings if you don't know what you're doing, okay? HODL and trade with a small part of that HODL. So All right, anything? That's it. I don't know
That's
that
it.
there's anything more to cover.
No, I think you covered them all.
All right. All right, well, we'll try and get that going. Maybe the next time, I'm planning on doing a show. I'm going to have the lady that's helping me with the cruise on tomorrow morning. That'll be tomorrow morning. I need to work out a lot of details on this. And
You on the show tomorrow?
huh?
Is she gonna-
Yeah, she can be on the show tomorrow. So, because she knows what's going on with the cruise line, and I don't. So I'm wanting her on directly. Okay, we need you ugly. You can't put an old head on young shoulders. Wish you could. I'll buy into that. All right. Well, anyway, it's been a lot of fun. I hope you guys got the lesson, because I'm telling you, me making a big mistake this morning is the biggest lesson you can learn. Because you know what? It's gonna happen. You're gonna do it, and it's just part of the game. And you just if you can't let those things bother you, and if they do bother you, it's because you're over trading. You've got too much money in that market compared to what your net worth is. So I do want to write an article this week, which I think will be an important one, and I have to work on this cruise, and I probably will not be trading until middle or end of August. I mean, that's just kind of the way I'm looking at it, because I just it is time consuming. I mean, even though I'm doing lots of other things, I still have to always be monitoring it and kind of not get too far away from it. So that's it. All right. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. And when I start back up again, maybe I'll try and figure out some way to teach some of the technical things. I mean, when I step back in, I'll try and step back in. Here's what I'm doing and why. But when I step back into a market for the first time too, I want to get positive as fast as I can. And as soon as I get that, when I go back in this for Bitcoin, which I'll probably will remove entirely if I'm not trading from BitMEX. But I want to trade small and initially, build up a small equity, positive equity, because then you have a little, cushion to trade off of. And so it is important in my mind to start out right. Now, usually I don't. Most of my trades, I am not a breakout. I mean, ideally, a lot of these technicians, what they do is they want to buy a breakout. And I know that's what, a lot of this stuff on the Y and the H patterns that Kostis is teaching, is that he wants to buy those breakouts and then he has points and so forth. I'm not that kind of a trader. I'm more of the guy that when I establish a position, it doesn't go my way initially, but it does eventually. And so what I do is I'm putting on a trade, and then I will have areas within a range, and I will usually add to it. And then as it works my way, then I start to trim. But very rarely, in fact, I find that if I get a trade that works right away, it's usually best to take profit on it quickly, because it's a short-lived thing. Whereas if I'm at position trading, I'm established, and that was what I was doing. I was position trading last January and February, trying to establish a sizable long position. Now, originally I lost more than I wanted to, so I didn't have as much on as I wanted. Nevertheless, even though I cut back, even though I didn't have on what I wanted, I still took that 2 Bitcoin and, ran it 10 times, up to over 10 times. And you can do that. I'm guaranteeing you can do it. And in fact, I know some of you guys have done it, but you've given it all back. And that's what I'm trying to have you avoid to do. If you follow what I'm doing, you're just not going to give it back. And, so I had somebody else approach me and said, "Oh, you be careful, because, this guy, he might, he's wrecked a lot of people." I say, "Hey, nobody can get wrecked off of following me. If you get wrecked, it's because you're not following me." So I welcome other technicians that think they have a good technical system, because I have no doubt they do. Anybody can trade better than me. Anybody can trade better than I'm not that good a trader. But I'll teach you the principles of money management so that you will, even if you're not a good trader like me, you'll be successful. And if you become a super trader, you'll become super successful. Usually that's not what happens, because what happens is when you become a super successful trader, you then begin to morphize and think it's you, that you're so smart, and you're not, and I'm not. And so it's really important to keep humble, because if you're hitting a good lick, it's not because you're so smart. It's just that you had good money management and you happened to catch a good move. And you can't be, other people say, "Well, ugly, you're just lucky." Well, no, it's not luck, because if you can't play the game, you can't be lucky. If you can play the game, you will eventually become lucky. Oh, again, it depends upon the market situation. I will not be aggressive in this market right now, period. I had no problem being aggressive last January and February. But right now, I cannot reckon. Look, we've already gone up 4 times, okay? If we double again, we're what, 26,000. Okay, hey, you know what? I've got my huddle. I hope it goes 26, great. If it doesn't, great. It doesn't matter. And these swings now are just incredible. I mean, it'll move $400 or $500 in a matter of 20 or 30 minutes. It's not the same market, guys. It just isn't. And so you can trade this market, but I'm going on vacation. You guys can. Here's the other thing too. I tend to buy too early, and I tend to sell too early. But you know what? This is the kind of market that say, let the other people have it. I've made mine. I knew what I was doing. This kind of market, no. You got all kinds of speculative interest. Go have at it, guys. No, I don't need it. I don't. And it's not, it's tough. I mean, Jesus is going to be buying his first Bitcoin. Well, it's not the best time to be buying Bitcoin, but it's better now than not buying it at all. And, he's going to be opening up a little $100 BitMEX account. I don't know what $100, how much Bitcoin is. It's not much, but you know what? You can trade that small account on BitMEX, which is just an incredible opportunity. It really is, guys. And, work it, play with it, see what you can do, and try and not lose it. If you can trade, I guarantee if you can trade and keep that $100 account active for a year, you're going to be tremendously successful as a trader. Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I don't know if this is going to double top. We're going to go right back. Who knows? But, if we have a bear market and take this thing back to $3,000, it's going to, which isn't going to surprise me. It's not going to surprise me if this thing goes all the way back down. And it's not a prediction. But as you know that I wrote, I thought it was a 99% chance we would not break $3,000 when we were at 3,500. And now I think it's a 50-50 chance we could go back down there. So because we fulfilled everything that we needed to do to go back down there. And we have a huge speculative interest in there. Now, they can just keep going. It can, and it just get wild. Great, fine with me. What leverage do I call aggressive? That's up to you. Look, if you look at my account, I always use what do they call that? The full margin. I don't even know what they call it. I have to go on my BitMEX account. At any rate, I don't use their leverage. I'm using my account. I have plenty in there. So it's not a factor. And I'm putting on a position that it's not a factor. My liquidation is when you saw my liquidation point, the Bitcoin had to go down to $2,000 or $3,000 now. Now, it was different back there when we were much lower and much quieter. Okay. Cross. Thank you, Ben. Which incidentally, you have a very good website. I enjoy it. So, I use Cross, and it's plenty margined up, and I don't quantify it in any way. I just, it's a non-issue to me. I'm not, relative to the size of the account, I'm well margined. So and I don't have a formula or anything like that. So I would recommend you do the same thing. You want to be able to trade with freedom. You want to be able to, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to risk. I don't want to worry about getting wrecked or any of that stuff. So you have enough, you trade your account according to its size. Okay. And that's going to be what you guys are going to have to learn with that $100. You're going to have to, don't feel bad. We just read that account of the trader that, he opened up an account, and for 1/10 of a Bitcoin, he lost half of it, and he ran it back up to 1.5. He took out his initial investment, and now he's trading with OPM. That's exactly what to do. He is trading with OPM money. He is not going to, if he loses everything, he's broken even. And that's what you want to do. You want to get that $100 up to $200 or $300, and then you want to take that $100 out, and then take to 200. Always take some out and reward yourself. If it's $100 and you take out, $150, you got the initial 100 back. Okay, that you just put back where it was, and the $50, take your wife out to dinner, and you're still trading. And that's what you need to do. That's part of the money management. That's HODL, all right? You HODL that Bitcoin. You save that Bitcoin. And by saving, I call it savvy. It's a perversion of the word savvy. So you're being savvy. You're taking your wife out to dinner with the profits. I just bought my wife a new 18-passenger bus. Okay, that's her savvy. Cost us, we took out 6 Bitcoin. We bought a bus with 4 of it. We have 2 in our HODL. That's how you do it. Okay. Now the savvy is also part of our builder, because yes, the savvy, the bus that we're taking, we're going to take it on vacation with us. But when we come back with the bus, we also have an asset that we'll be using, for the Bitcoin house, because it's very probable and likely that this place is pretty big. Turn the camera around. Show them. Can you turn the camera around so you can see turn this camera around so they can see what the rest of the room looks like. Okay. So we have, I have desks back here, and we got things upstairs, but we actually have a room up here where we can do seminars and so forth. So you can turn it back now so they can see. And then if we go back here, well, behind this screen is my wife has factory equipment, because we are incidentally, we are mailing out the hats and the shirts finally. You should be getting them soon. I have one more. It's been a hassle figuring out how to do this and get them across the border, but I figured it out. I've still got some that hopefully I get the rest of them done this week. Now, that's just for old subscribers. The latest batch of subscribers we got here, we're out of hats and shirts, and my wife is recovering from an operation. So hopefully we'll get those out to you here too before we go on vacation. But at least if you're an old subscriber, you should be getting a hat or a shirt. Again, that was my choice, not yours. Whatever we had in stock, we sent you. And tomorrow I'm going to be figuring out what we're going to do on this cruise. I want as many of you guys can. This is going to be a one-on-one, very intensive thing. Oh, I wanted to bring up too. I don't know if I can't share the, but you guys look for an article that I saw on Trazer because I'm a big believer in Trazer. But apparently now the Trazer, it's been proven that if somebody gets a hold of your Trazer, they can hack it for your passwords. So the only way around that is you have to have a master password over that. And so I don't know where that article is. I'll try and find it and maybe refer to it in a future newsletter. But I did notice that warning. And so you want to act accordingly. You want to make sure you put an additional password on your Trazer, because they can, it has been shown by a bunch of white hat hackers that you can go in and within about 5 or 10 minutes, they can find your 20 words and get into your Trazer. So it is something that you need to consider, and you need to account for that problem. When you start again, pull up a chart live just as I can. All right, I'll try and do that. I mean, I'll try and do that. I'm just kind of, I'm going to get away from it. I'm just am. I mean, my family deserves to have a wife and a father, and we need to have a vacation so we can come back and do a better job than what we've been doing. Well, I'm not a great trader, okay? And you can see that by the record of my trades. I mean, I'm just not. So, but it does not speak well for the 95%, because what happens is a lot of those 95%ers, they win, but they make, they don't manage, like I say, you don't manage your funds once and you're wiped out. Yeah. Call me a great money manager and a lousy trader. That would be the best description. Okay. Because look, how can I be a great trader when I just got out of a huge winning position just before the market broke? Man, why did I see that coming? But it's going to happen. It's just going to happen, but the thing is, hey, did I lose anything? No. Did I make anything? No. But I got, I can play another day, and I can sleep at night. And hopefully I'm on vacation. I'll be able to sleep 8 hours. That would be really something different. If I'm not looking at Bitcoin, I probably could. So, all right. So I'm going to turn things over to Jesus. He's going to form we'll try and have that on. Jesus will try and have his little, what group on Telegram?
I think so.
Yeah, and I'll be on it, and I'll try and get Ugly Old Goat and my I'm gonna get my 13-year-old will probably get on there. We'll open up a little Bitcoin, a little account for him, and see what you guys can do. And it'd be really cool if one of you guys takes $100 and turns it into $1 million, and it can be done. It can be done.
Never know.
Maybe I should get in there and try it. It's just, it would be a challenge, but yeah. So let's see how it goes. I think it's a training exercise for you guys. It really is. And again, what I want you to be, you can share different technical things, but I've been invited, done a lot of chats, and I'm in them, but I don't really pay any attention to them because everybody's got their own theories, and it's kind of, it's bragging rights and all this. Man, I'm not a good a trader. I don't, I'm not making bragging rights. I don't know where the market's going, but they hate to say that. Well, where do you think? I don't know. And where do I think Bitcoin is going? Well, Bitcoin is going to become the Bitcoin standard. It is going to be the new standard for money in the world, and that's the fundamental position that I've taken. Now, I could be absolutely wrong, and that's why we also have taken part of our Bitcoin and we invest in other things. Now I've invested most heavily and almost exclusively here in Mexico, and that might be a big mistake. I don't know. I don't think so, but you want to be diversified in other places as well. So, hopefully we'll be doing that. To me, the best security, the thing you want to be doing on this too, is build your own business. The future is going to be Bitcoin, and my wife's dream is to become a fashion designer, an internationally renowned and known fashion designer. Well, you know what? She can do that. And if she does it, it's going to be through Bitcoin and through the Bitcoin community, because Bitcoin doesn't have borders. And people with Bitcoin are now slowly, they have wealth, and their wealth is continuing to grow so long as they are managing their Bitcoin properly. I am new here, trying to learn as much as possible. I've changed my units to Satoshis in BitMEX, and I'm trading small positions. Much better already. All right. That's what I want to hear. You got to throw away that garbage. If you lost a bunch of money, you know what? That was your lesson that you learned. Now, let's get small. Let's make it big, and then get small again, and make it big, and get small again. It's just we don't think that way. We always want to, we want to get rich now and be richer tomorrow. And, that's our nature, that's our depraved nature. And, so you got to overcome that. You really do. All right, guys. All right, Jesus, it's in your hands. So I'll let you, I'll give you my referral to BitMEX so you can pick up some Bitcoin not BitMEX, but on Bitso. And then you got to use my referral code on BitMEX too. So, or the Goat Ladies. And you get the 10% discount by using our and hopefully you'll become a Bitcoin mill. I hope you get better than me. I'm not a very good trader. Look, my kids sit around and play those computer games all along. I keep saying, hey, you know what? Instead of sitting here and getting paid nothing, why don't you learn Bitcoin and learn how to trade this stuff so you can make some money playing a game? And so hopefully if they can put just a fraction of a fraction of that amount of time learning to trade Bitcoin as they do playing these Xbox games, they could become a super great traders. And in fact, I don't know why they're not doing that. So, all right. That's it. I did it. We got it done. It was a lot of fun. Again, great lesson today. I missed out on a big move. I didn't make as money I should have made and didn't, but I'm laughing about it. And it's bad for me, but it's a great lesson for you guys. Just a fantastic lesson. It's not that important. I was absolutely wrong, but I'm here to play another day. And that's what it's all about. All right. We'll see you guys. All right.